My name is Ethan. I am 24. And the night my best friend's mom knocked on our apartment door at 11 p.m. is the night everything started to feel different. I live in a small two-bedroom apartment just outside downtown with my best friend Daniel. We have been roommates for a couple of years now. We split rent, we split takeout, and we split late-night game sessions where we talk big and live small. I work as a graphic designer from home for a startup that makes fitness apps. It is not fancy, but it pays the bills and keeps the lights on. Daniel works in marketing. He is always talking about ideas, campaigns, and how he is going to make it big. Life with him is easy. We play video games, fight over the last slice of pizza, complain about work, and then do it all again the next day. It is simple, safe. Still, some nights when I stare at my laptop and the blue light hits my tired eyes, I wonder if this is all there is, just designs, deadlines, and half-eaten pizza boxes. Right now, Daniel is out of town for a work conference. 3 days. It does not sound like much, but the apartment feels strange without him. Too quiet. No loud music from his room. No dumb jokes yelled from the kitchen. No new dishes appearing in the sink like magic. I am not really upset about the quiet, though. Tonight I have the TV to myself. I am stretched out on our old couch, the one with a spring that stabs your back if you sit in the wrong spot. A thriller show is playing on the screen. I am half watching it, half scrolling on my phone. Our place is nothing special. Mismatched chairs. A coffee table we found on the curb. A couple of plants that look like they gave up on life months ago, but Daniel keeps saying he can save them. Daniel's mom, Mrs. Walker, comes by sometimes to water those plants or drop off some of his old stuff. She lives in a neat house in the suburbs about 20 minutes away. When she walks into a room, everything feels more in order, like she brings control with her. I have met her a few times. Mrs. Walker is not like most moms I know. She is 46, elegant, and sharp. She wears simple but perfect clothes. Tailored blouses, fitted jeans, boots that click softly on the floor. Her hair is always done, her makeup light but clean. Her voice is calm, but there is power in it, like she is used to being listened to. The first time we met, I was standing in the kitchen in old pajama pants, eating cereal straight from the bowl. She walked in, gave me a slow look, and said, "Please tell me you are keeping Daniel from living on instant noodles." I almost choked. I laughed, said something dumb about frozen meals, and felt like a kid caught skipping homework. After that, it was always quick. Hellos. A short chat about Daniel. A comment about the plants. Sometimes a joke about how 2 guys can turn a clean apartment into a disaster in a week. She was kind, but a little distant, like she stayed one step back on purpose. Except for one moment. About a month ago, she came by with a box of Daniel's old things, some books, a jacket, random stuff. I was sitting on the floor while she sorted through the box. At one point, I caught myself watching her a little too long, the way she moved, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear. She looked up and caught my eyes. For a second, I was sure I had messed up, but she just smiled, this small, knowing smile, and said, "Boys your age are always distracted." My face burned. I looked down and pretended to check my phone like I had 100 important messages. It was not flirty, not really, but it shook me. She is Daniel's mom, I kept telling myself. You do not think about your best friend's mom. But that line stayed in my head, like a song you cannot get rid of. Tonight feels like any other night. It is 11 p.m., and rain is tapping lightly on the windows. The light in the living room is soft. I am on the couch in sweatpants and a faded t-shirt, eyes half on the TV, half on my phone. Daniel is gone. The apartment is calm and still. I am thinking about going to bed soon. Then I hear it, a knock at the door. It is not loud, but in the quiet it feels sharp. I pause the show. The picture on the screen freezes on a dark hallway from the thriller. I glance at the clock. 11 p.m. exactly. Who knocks at 11 p.m.? My first thought is a neighbor with a complaint. Too much noise. A leak. Something. My second thought is Daniel. Maybe his flight got changed. Maybe he forgot his keys. I push myself off the couch and walk to the door. The rain outside has picked up now. I can hear it against the windows, a steady soft drum. I flip on the porch light and open the door. I am ready for anything. But not for who I see. It is Mrs. Walker. She stands there in the yellow glow from the porch light. Her raincoat is damp and shining a little. Her hair is not pulled back like usual. It is loose, a bit messy, damp pieces resting against her neck. She is not wearing her usual perfect makeup. She looks natural, raw. In one hand she holds a simple paper bag. Her eyes look tired, a little sad, and something else I cannot name. Seeing her like this makes my chest feel tight. "Mrs. Walker," I say, my voice unsure, "is everything okay?" She gives a small smile. It does not fully reach her eyes. "I was heading home," she says softly. "But then I thought, no one is there. So I swung by here." Quote. Her words sound casual, like she is just making a small stop. But the way she looks at me does not feel casual at all. Her eyes stay on mine 1 second too long. My mouth goes dry. I do not know what to say, so I step aside. Come in. It is really wet out there." She hesitates, just for a heartbeat, then steps inside. As she moves past me, I feel the cool air follow her and catch a light scent of her perfume mixed with rain. It makes my head swim for a moment. I close the door, and suddenly the apartment feels different, smaller, warmer, like the air itself is paying attention. "Let me take your coat," I say, just to fill the silence. She unbuttons the raincoat and slips it off. Underneath, she is wearing a simple sweater and jeans. Nothing fancy, but she still looks like she belongs in some clean, bright place, not our messy living room. I hang her coat on the hook by the door. When I turn back, she has placed the paper bag on the coffee table and is taking out 2 small bottles of cider. "This is my kind of drink," she says lightly. "Soft, does not cause trouble." Quote. She holds 1 bottle out to me. Our fingers brush for a second when I take it, and even that small touch sends a quick spark up my arm. "Thanks," I say quietly, twisting the cap off. We sit down on the couch. There is a careful space between us. The TV is still paused, throwing a faint glow across the room. The rain outside grows louder, a steady sound wrapping around the walls. I take a sip of the cider. It is crisp and sweet. My heart is beating faster than it should. "So," I say, trying to sound calm, "you just felt like stopping by?" She lets out a small laugh and leans back against the couch, holding the bottle in both hands. "Something like that," she says. Her eyes move from the TV to me. "I did not feel like being alone tonight, and I remembered you were here." Her words are simple, but they land heavy in my chest. I look at her, really look, and I know this is not just a random visit. I do not know what she is really asking for. I do not know what this night is going to become. I only know one thing. From the moment she knocked at 11 p.m., I was not going to sleep easily again. The cider is cool against my lips, but it does nothing to calm the strange heat in my chest. Mrs. Walker sits a little turned toward me on the couch, 1 leg crossed under her, the bottle resting lightly in her hand. The TV is still frozen on the same frame, a dark hallway from my thriller, but neither of us cares about it now. Outside, the rain has found a steady rhythm, soft but constant, like a quiet drum. Inside, every silence between us feels louder than the sound of the storm. We start talking about safe things at first, little things. "How bad was traffic getting here?" I ask. "Worse than usual," she says, rolling her eyes a little. "People forget how to drive the second it starts raining." I laugh and tell her about my show, how it keeps pulling me in even though I tell myself I will only watch 1 more episode. She asks about the plot, who the bad guy might be, if I like thrillers because my own life is too boring. Her questions are light, but she listens like every word matters. It feels almost normal, 2 people talking on a quiet night. But under everything, there is that pull. I take another sip and ask, "So you just did not want to go home?" Quote. She pauses for a moment, then sets the bottle carefully on the coffee table. Her fingers tap the glass once before she lets go. "Home is quiet," she says. Her voice is calm, but there is something heavier under it. Too quiet sometimes. I thought I would be used to it by now, but tonight. She trails off, and her eyes drift to the window. Rain streaks down the glass in long lines that catch the glow from the streetlights outside. Tonight, I just wanted company, she finishes softly, and I remembered you were here. The word company is simple, but the way she says it makes my throat feel tight. I shift a little closer without really meaning to. Not enough to be obvious, just enough that I can feel her more. Her presence. Her warmth. Well, I am not exactly exciting company, I say with a short laugh. Just me, bad TV, and Daniel's dying plants. She laughs, low and warm. The sound goes straight through me. You are selling yourself short, Ethan, she says. She turns her head fully toward me. Our eyes meet and stay there. You are present. That is more than most people. I do not know why that hits me so hard, but it does. Present, like just being here with her is something good. I clear my throat and look down at the label on my bottle. You do not come by that often, I say. I mean, besides the plant visits. Daniel says you keep his jungle alive. She smiles, but there is a hint of sadness in it now. It is an excuse, she says quietly, to check in. To feel like I am still part of his life, even if he does not need me the way he used to. Her eyes are far away for a moment. When she speaks again, her voice is a little softer. I got married at 21, she says, too young, too sure it would last forever. I sit up a little straighter. I have never heard her talk like this. Not to me. I thought that is what you do, she continues. You find someone, you build a life, you make it work. No matter what. Did it work? I ask, even though I already know the answer. She smiles, but it is that tired kind of smile that does not hide the truth. For a while, she says, then it did not. I was 37 when I finally left. After years of telling myself I just had to try harder, be a better wife, a better mom, hold everything together. Her fingers run slowly along the side of the bottle, tracing a drop of water. Being a mother is everything, she says. But sometimes it is a way to stop being a woman. You forget who you are outside of taking care of everyone else. Her words hang heavy in the air. I have never thought of her like that. I have only seen the finished version. The strong, composed, perfect Mrs. Walker. Not this woman in my living room, sitting with her shoulders just a little slumped, talking about a life that did not go the way she planned. I listen, really listen. I can feel something shift between us. She is not just Daniel's mom in this moment. She is just her. A person. Do you ever miss it? I ask quietly, who you were before all of that. She looks at me, and her eyes are sharp and soft at the same time. All the time, she says. But it is not gone. It is just buried. Sometimes I forget I am still a person. Not only someone's mom or someone's ex. Her voice shakes just a little. She laughs to cover it and takes a quick sip of her cider. Listen to me, she says. I sound like I am in a therapy session. You don't, I say too quickly. Her eyes flick back to mine with a small spark of surprise. It is real, what you are saying. I get it. I am not sure I fully understand, but I want to. So I tell her about me, about how my life feels stuck sometimes, how the days blur together. Designs, deadlines, games, sleep, repeat. I tell her how I date sometimes, but nothing feels deep. Nothing feels like it is supposed to change anything. It is like I am waiting for something, I say, staring at my hands. But I do not know what. She watches me with a look that makes me feel seen in a way that is almost too much. That is the hardest part, she says. Waiting without knowing. But you are young, Ethan. You have time to figure it out. Quote, her words are kind, but there is a weight behind them, like she is speaking from a place I have not reached yet, a place I am afraid of but heading toward anyway. The rain gets heavier. The sound deepens, filling the spaces between our breaths. The room feels warmer, smaller. The distance between us on the couch feels like a lie. She shifts her leg, bringing her knee a little closer to mine. Our bodies almost touch. I notice the way her fingers play with the edge of the bottle label, the way a piece of damp hair has fallen across her cheek. My hand twitches, wanting to reach forward and move it, but I do not. We talk more. She tells me about traveling in her 20s, backpacking through Europe before marriage and kids in suburbs. I tell her about a music festival Daniel and I went to, how we got stuck in the rain and ended up laughing in mud up to our ankles. We do not say Daniel's name after that. Not on purpose, but like we both feel this small world we have built tonight. Just the two of us inside it. Our bottles slowly empty. The labels peel at the corners. The conversation thins into longer silences. Not uncomfortable, just full, charged. I finally stand up, needing to move to break the tension. I will put these in the sink, I say, picking up the empty bottles. My voice sounds rough. She nods and stands too. When she follows me to the kitchen, it feels like a choice. The kitchen is small, the counter is close to the fridge, and there is barely space for two people to stand side by side. I set the bottles in the sink and turn to grab a towel from the counter. She is right there. Closer than before. Close enough that I can feel her warmth. Close enough that I can smell her perfume under the faint scent of rain. I freeze, my hand hanging in the air for a second. Our eyes meet. All the light talk and careful space from earlier falls away in that one look. Her eyes are not tired now. They are focused. Intense. There is fear there, but something else too. Want. She reaches out and lets her fingers brush against my hand. Not by accident. Not by mistake. A slow, gentle touch that stops my breath. I look down at her hand on mine, then back up at her. I do not want to be the adult tonight, she says. Her voice is low, but every word is clear. The sound of the rain fades into a distant roar. My heart pounds in my ears. I know exactly what she means, and it scares me more than anything has in a long time. Are you sure? I manage to ask, my throat tight. She holds my gaze. There is no game in her eyes, no joke, only truth. No, she says. A small, honest smile touches her lips. But for the first time, I do not want to be sure. The whole world seems to stop right there, in that tiny kitchen, with her hand on mine and those words hanging between us like a dangerous choice. Time slows down in that tiny kitchen. Her hand is on mine, warm and steady. Her words float between us like heavy air. I do not want to be the adult tonight. For the first time, I do not want to be sure. I feel like I am standing on the very edge of something I cannot come back from. The rain hits the windows harder, but it sounds far away. All I can hear is my own heartbeat and the quiet sound of her breathing. Her eyes do not move away from mine. There is no joke in them, no teasing. Just a tired kind of hunger and a deep, aching honesty. I want for one wild second to just lean in, to forget who she is, to forget who I am to her, to forget Daniel, to stop being careful and good and scared. Instead, I swallow hard. My throat is dry. Mrs. Walker, I start, my voice rough. She watches me, waiting. I gently pull my hand back. It feels like stepping away from a warm fire into cold air. I take a small step to the side, putting a little space between us. Not much, but enough to breathe. Her eyes flicker, just a little. No anger, no drama. Just a small flash of hurt that she hides almost at once. Sorry, I say, even though I am not sure what I am apologizing for. For wanting her. For not acting on it. For both. You do not have to say sorry, she answers. Her voice is calm again, but softer than before. I am the one who showed up at your door with cider at 11 at night. Quote. She lets out a short, shaky laugh and looks down at the floor, then back up at me. I should not have put you in that spot, she says. You are a good guy, Ethan. The way she says it makes my chest ache. You did not, I say. I mean, you did not do anything wrong. You were just honest. Her lips curve into the smallest smile. That is what scares me, she says. Honesty. For a moment, we just stand there, facing each other in that small strip of tile between the counter and the fridge. The charge in the air is still there, but it has changed. It feels less like a spark ready to explode and more like a deep ache that settles into your bones. She steps back first, giving us more space. She reaches for her bottle in the sink, rinses it without really looking at it, then sets it down. I do the same with mine, grateful for something simple to do with my hands. "Come on," she says quietly. "Let us go sit before we both pass out standing up." We walk back to the living room. The TV is still paused on that dark frame from my show, the room washed in blue light. We sit on the couch again, but this time a little farther apart than before. The mood has shifted. The air is still thick, but calmer, like a storm that passed without fully breaking. We do not talk for a minute. I can hear the clock ticking on the wall, the hum of the fridge, the steady drumming rain. "Do you regret coming here?" I ask finally, staring at my hands. She is quiet for a moment. I glance over and see her leaning back, her head tipped against the cushion, eyes on the ceiling. "No," she says at last. "I do not regret it." She turns her head and looks at me. "Do you?" My chest tightens. "I do not know," I say honestly. "I feel like I should, but I do not. I just feel awake." Her mouth curves into a small, real smile. "Awake is not the worst thing to feel," she says. We fall into a softer kind of silence. We talk a little more after that, but the words are lighter. She asks about my work again. I ask about the plants. She teases Daniel for texting her only when he needs something. I make fun of how he thinks one conference is going to change his whole life. Every now and then our eyes meet and we both look away just a bit too fast. Time slips by. I do not know how long we sit there, sharing small stories in a dim room while the storm outside slowly calms. My body is tired, but my mind is wired. At some point, I realize my eyes are starting to sting. I blink hard and stretch. "You should sleep," she says softly. "You look exhausted." "Look who is talking," I say. "You drove through the rain at night just to babysit some plants and a guy who lives in sweatpants." She laughs, and this time it sounds more relaxed. She pushes herself up from the couch. "I should go," she says, "before I talk myself into staying." Those words hit me like a soft blow. "You could stay," I say before I can stop myself. "I mean, not like that. I just mean if the roads are bad. You can take my room. I will sleep on the couch." She studies me for a second, her face open and unreadable at the same time. "That is sweet," she says, "but I should go home." She walks to the door, and I follow. I help her with her coat, holding it up while she slips her arms through the sleeves. My fingers brush her shoulder, and I feel that spark again, quick and sharp. When she turns around, we're close again. Not as close as in the kitchen, but close enough. The porch light shines through the small window in the door, framing her face in a soft glow. "Ethan," she says quietly. "Yeah." Her eyes search mine, careful now, like she is picking each word before she lets it out. "Do not hate me for tonight," she says. "And please do not hate yourself either." The words land deep, simple, direct. I swallow and nod. "I could never hate you," I say, "and I do not hate myself. I just do not know what to do with all of this." She gives a sad little smile. "You do not have to do anything," she says. "Sometimes it is enough just to feel it and let it pass." She reaches up and, for the first time, touches my face. Just a light brush of her fingers along my jaw, like she is memorizing me. It is innocent, and not innocent at all. "Good night, Ethan," she whispers. "Good night, Mrs. Walker." I answer, my voice low. She opens the door. Cool air and the smell of wet pavement rush in. She steps out into the hallway, looks back once, and then she is gone. I close the door slowly and lean my forehead against it for a second, breathing in the quiet she leaves behind. The apartment feels different. Like every object has shifted just an inch. I go back to the couch and sit down hard. The TV screen has gone dark now. I do not bother turning it back on. I lie down and stare at the ceiling. My body is tired, but my mind refuses to shut down. I see her standing in the doorway. I feel her hand on mine in the kitchen. I hear her voice over and over. I do not want to be the adult tonight. For the first time, I do not want to be sure. Do not hate me. Do not hate yourself. Those words circle in my head like they are stuck there. My chest feels tight. My thoughts pulled in 100 directions at once. Guilt, want, fear. Something that feels too close to hope. I flip onto my side, then onto my back, then onto my other side. The blanket is bunched at my feet, the couch spring digs into my ribs, and still my eyes stay open. Every time I start to drift towards sleep, I hear her again in that low, honest voice. I do not want to be the adult tonight. And just like that, I am wide awake all over again. I do not remember the exact moment I fell asleep. 1 second I was staring at the ceiling, replaying every second in the kitchen, and the next I was waking up to pale gray light filling the living room. My neck hurt from the couch. My back hurt from that stupid spring. My mind hurt from too many thoughts. For a moment I forgot why my chest felt tight. Then, it all rushed back. The knock at 11 p.m. The cider. Her hand on mine. Her words. I sit up fast. The blanket I do not remember pulling over myself slides to the floor. The TV is off now. The room is quiet in that early morning way when even the city sounds softer. I look around. She is not here. No shoes by the door. No sound from the kitchen. It is like she was never here at all. I push myself up and walk to the kitchen, half expecting to find some trace of her. A mug, a note, something. The counter is clear. The sink is empty. Then I see it. On the coffee table, next to the remote, there is a small piece of paper folded neatly in half. My heart jumps. I pick it up with fingers that feel clumsy and unfold it. Her handwriting is clean. Like her, careful and simple. Thanks for not making me feel guilty. Meet for breakfast sometime if you want, but not here. No name at the bottom. Just a tiny doodle of a teacup with a little smile. I read it once. Then again. The words hit harder than I expect. Thanks for not making me feel guilty. I sit down on the couch, still holding the note, my thumb rubbing over the ink. I remember the look in her eyes in the kitchen. How close she was. How easy it would have been to move just an inch and cross a line we could never step back from. I think about how she said she did not want to be the adult that night. How I wanted so badly to follow that feeling. I could have made her feel worse. I could have taken her hurt and turned it into something darker. Instead, I stepped back. We both did. Somewhere in all that mess, we chose not to go further. The note feels like proof that it mattered. I fold it again and slip it into my pocket. Not sure why, only knowing I am not ready to throw it away. The rest of the morning moves in slow motion. I shower, make coffee, scroll my phone without really seeing anything. Every time I stop, my mind goes back to her. To her laugh. To the way she said I was present. To the way she touched my face at the door like she was trying to remember me. Guilt comes in waves. Daniel is probably waking up in some hotel, going to boring meetings, thinking his mom is at home, maybe checking on his plants. He has no idea what almost happened in the room where we play video games and eat pizza. At the same time, under the guilt, there is something else. A strange sense of being awake, the way I told her. Like a light turned on inside that will not go off again. The day passes. Then, another. Daniel texts me blurry photos from the conference. A crowd, a stage. A sad-looking sandwich. I reply with jokes, pretend everything is normal. He gets back on Wednesday, just like he said he would. The apartment goes back to its usual noise. His music. His shoes in the wrong place. His laugh. I join in, but there is a part of me that stays quiet, holding that night like a secret in my chest. Mrs. Walker does not come by. She does not call. I do not have her number anyway. The note is the only proof I have that we shared something real. I keep it tucked in my wallet, then move it to the little drawer by my bed. I tell myself I will throw it away. I never do. A week goes by, then another. One Saturday morning, I am alone in the kitchen making coffee. Daniel is still asleep, snoring behind his door. My phone buzzes on the counter. Unknown number. My heart skips. I wipe my hand on a dish towel and pick it up. Ethan? This is Claire Walker. I got your number from Daniel's emergency contact form. Hope that is okay. My stomach flips, just seeing her name. I stare at the message for a full minute before I answer. Yeah, this is Ethan. It is okay. There is a pause. Then another text. I am near a small cafe on Pine. Wanted to try their breakfast. Thought of what I wrote that morning. If you are busy, ignore this. If not, I will be here for a while. My first instinct is to say no. To be safe. To avoid everything this might stir up. My second instinct is to grab my keys. 10 minutes later, I am walking down a cool street under a soft gray sky, my hands shoved into my jacket pockets, my heart racing. The cafe is small, tucked between a bookstore and a laundromat. Warm light spills out onto the sidewalk. I step inside and see her right away. She is sitting at a corner table by the window, hands wrapped around a mug of tea. No fancy clothes, just a soft sweater and jeans. Her hair is pulled back, but a few strands fall loose around her face. She looks smaller here somehow and more real. When she sees me, her lips part like she is caught off guard, even though she is the one who texted. Then she smiles, and some tightness in my chest eases. Hey, I say, walking over. Hey, she replies. I am glad you came. Quote. I sit down across from her. For a second, neither of us knows where to start. The sound of cups clinking and quiet music fills the space. Did Daniel say anything? I ask finally. About that night, she asks. No, he does not know I was there. My shoulders drop in relief and guilt all at once. I wanted to see you somewhere that is not your apartment, she says. Somewhere that does not feel like his space. I nod. That makes sense more than I want to admit. I keep thinking about what I said, she adds, eyes on her tea. I do not want to be the adult tonight. It sounds reckless. It sounded honest, I say quietly. She looks up at me. There is that sharp, soft gaze again. That is what scared me, she says. How honest it was. We sit there, two people on opposite sides of a small table, trying to hold something fragile between us without breaking it. I do not regret coming that night, she says. I do not regret talking to you. I do not regret feeling what I felt. She pauses. Her voice drops a little. But I would regret it if we hurt Daniel, or if I turned you into some kind of mistake I made because I was lonely. The words sink into me slow. I do not want to be that either, I say. I do not want to be a mistake. You are not, she answers, and there is no space for doubt in the way she says it. You were kind to me. You listened. You stopped things when I did not trust myself to. That is what I wanted to thank you for. So that is what the note meant, I say. Thanks for not making me feel guilty. She nods. Her fingers trace the edge of the mug. You could have made me feel ashamed, she says. You did not. You just let me be human for a night. I did not sleep much after I left. But for once, my thoughts were not all regrets. Just questions. I let out a breath I did not know I was holding. I did not sleep much either, I admit. I kept hearing your voice in my head. She smiles faintly. Which part? I meet her eyes. All of it. The part where you said you forget you are a person. The part where you called me present. The part where you did not want to be the adult. It all kind of stuck. Quote. We fall quiet again, but it is not empty. I feel like we are standing on that edge again. Only this time we are not pretending we do not see it. What do we do now? I ask. She looks past me out the window for a moment, thinking. When her eyes come back to mine, they are clear. Now, she says, we remember that we are both people. Not just roles, not just mom and friend, but we also remember that we care about someone who trusts us both, and we act like that matters. It is not the wild, forbidden answer some part of me wanted, but it feels right. It feels steady. So no secret relationship, I say with a small, wry smile. She laughs, a real laugh this time. No, she says, no secret anything. If I ever needed to talk again, I would like to know I can. And if you ever need someone older who has made a lot of mistakes to listen, I hope you think of me. But not in a way that ruins your best friend's life. There is a sting in that, but also a strange kind of comfort. Okay, I say. I can live with that. We sit there a little longer. We talk about normal things, her work, my latest design project, Daniel's bad taste in clothes. When we finally stand to leave, she reaches out and squeezes my hand once. Just once. "Ethan," she says softly, "you are more awake than you think. Do not go back to sleep just because it is easier." Those are the last words she says to me before we step out of the cafe and go in separate directions. That night, back on my couch, the apartment full again with Daniel's noise and life, I lie awake staring at the same ceiling. I think about her knock at 11 p.m. I think about the way she almost broke and how I almost let myself fall with her. I think about how we stopped, how we still met anyway, how she told me I was present, and how she told me not to go back to sleep. Her words loop in my head, gentle but firm, keeping me awake for all the right reasons this time. I do not know what my life is going to look like from here. I do not know who I will love or how I will change, but I know this. I am done living like nothing matters. I am done running on autopilot. All it took was a late-night knock, a quiet woman who did not want to be the adult for once, and a few simple words that made it impossible to close my eyes and go back to the way things were.